Please help me welcome Jeff Stein.
Think back to when you were a kid. Who watched Mr. Rogers? Most of the people in this room. Okay. Who's heard of Mr. Rogers or have had kids who got it? Good. So everybody might remember this one song where Mr. Rogers were talking about who are the people in your neighborhood? And he would go through all the different people in his neighborhood, and Mr. Rogers seemed to know everybody, right? And everybody knew Mr. Rogers, and they come over. It's kind of like back when you were a kid, and the new kid would move into your neighborhood. Okay, like the moving truck would come, and you would all go over there, right? And you would sit there and be like, okay, is there a new kid in town, and who is he? And tell me a little bit about himself, and you'd want to know who everybody was, right? So here's my question. What happened to you with that? Why do you no longer do that today? We have gotten closer in this world than you think. To quote another piece of my childhood, it's a small world after all. Who are the people right now in your neighborhood? Let me give you an example. Who here has ever wanted to work with McDonald's? Yeah? Raise your hand if you have worked with McDonald's or know somebody in this room who has. Okay. Sorry. That's 1, 2, 3, 4 people out of this entire room. Did you know that beforehand? Would it make it easier for you to figure out how to get in touch with McDonald's? If, say, you walked over to Barbara and said, you know somebody who works at McDonald's? You know, back as a kid in college, we used to play that game, The 6 Degrees of Kevin Bacon. Okay, where it was, you had to hook one person, like a celebrity like Tom Hanks, to Kevin Bacon. And then one day we stopped playing that game, we started playing a new game, The 6 Degrees of Separation of You. And it was now, I'll never forget, I had a friend of mine who said to me, okay, Jeff, how about you and Bill Clinton? I looked at him and I thought it was nuts. Me and Bill Clinton. I don't know Bill Clinton. I don't even know anybody who knows Bill Clinton. I was 20-something. How would I know anybody who knows Bill Clinton? And one of my friends said, yes, you do. I said, no, I don't. He said, oh, really? Your next door neighbor. He knows David Wilhelm, right? Yeah. David Wilhelm writes speeches for the president, doesn't he? Yes. So tell me again, do you not know Bill Clinton? Well, no, I don't know Bill Clinton, but am I not now 2 steps closer than I was before?
Yes.
We are all that close. It is a small world after all. Who are the people in your neighborhood? Case in point. Raise your hand if in this room you know somebody or work with somebody who is a Fortune 500 company. Everybody in this room, would you like to network with those individuals and find out more about their Fortune 500 company? Figure out ways to get more involved with them? Here's a question, why haven't you? Is it because you weren't aware? Was it because you don't know enough about your connections? Have you asked the right questions? How much do you really know about each other? For example, I know that Barbara works at Aon, this building. I work in promotional products, I do sales. If I wanted to sell a bunch of promotional products to Aon, is it possible that Barbara might know the right person to talk to within Aon that I could possibly get some sales that way? What do you think, Barbara? You think there's a shot? Yeah. Okay. Another example. Correct me if I'm wrong. At one point you worked for Microsoft, did you not?
I did.
You did. Anybody want to work with Microsoft? No, you don't want to work with Microsoft. Okay? Everybody else wants to work with Microsoft, but that's okay. Not Shirley. We're good with that, Shirley. We love you for who you are. Okay? But that is my point. We are all far closer than you think. We're just not taking advantage of it. Are you building out those connections? Do you know who they know? I'll give you a great example. I had just done a $100,000 deal selling promotional products to one of the biggest oil companies in the world, Occidental Petroleum. And I said, boy, this was really a lot of fun. I'd love to work with you some more. Oh, have you talked to our healthcare department? No. Well, they buy all kinds of things. Did you talk to our actual marketing department? Because we only do college uptake for HR. No, I haven't. Can you give me that person's name? Absolutely. I'm willing to give you referrals to all of those people. FYI, Occidental Petroleum, $1 billion corporation. Was that simple? What did I do? I asked, right? Why aren't we asking? Why aren't we in those situations? Now, in fairness, I had to do something for Occidental to get those other names. I had to deliver. I had to show that I had value, that I had integrity, that there was a reason why they would want to give me those pieces and those pieces of information. For example, I had built that relationship at least 4 years earlier when that individual used to work for Hess, which is also a large oil company, one of the largest in the world. That individual, at one point, was no longer somebody I needed as a personal contact. I continued to talk to that individual just simply because I thought maybe one day that might be helpful. Because maybe I would want to work with her or that Hess in Houston, because things were drying up in New York. I also wanted to continue to talk to her because, honestly, I wanted to get more of a better understanding of Hess as a corporation. And then one day I called her, and she told me she moved to Occidental Petroleum. And the next words out of her mouth were, Jeff, I totally need your help. I have things to buy. When can we talk? Are you building out your connections? Are you making them feel like they're comfortable with you? To take it another direction, sometimes with connections, it's not about what they can do for you as much as what you can do for them. There are certain people who I work with from a speaking perspective, okay, where I see something that is really, really, really cool, or I think people should know about it. What do? I share their information, whether it be on Facebook or LinkedIn, or even with somebody as a friend. Because I have faith. And what happens is, what people believe in me, they're willing to take a chance to talk to that other individual. Because if I sat there and said it had value, they will then transfer that possibility of value to them. Case in point, there was an individual who does books and does book sales. I think he's phenomenal. I've made mention to people about it. 4 people showed up because I sat there and said I thought it was a good idea for people to go. Now here's the thing on all that, what you also need to be aware of is when you do make those connections, when you want them, the ones that you really, really want, what are you going to do with them? What's next? And that has happened before. I won't mention names, but there was a friend who wanted to get in contact with a professional presenter. And I said to this person, well, I think you probably could connect with them right now. And they said to me, oh no, I don't know anybody. I said, well, let's go through your list. Is there anybody who connects you with that individual right now? And there were. I said, but yeah, Jeff, I don't know that person. I don't know this person. And I said, well, what about this one? And they said, all right, well, I guess I could give him a ring. Less than 12 hours later, I got a phone call. I believe it started with, I hate you. So why do you hate me? Because I made the phone call. And the next words out of those people's mouths, that person's mouth was, what do you want me to tell them? If you're going to make those big connections, what is your reason? What is your rationale? Why do you want to do that? Why do you want to make them a part of your small world in your neighborhood? Thank you very much. Have a great day. And again, remember, every one of us is connected to somebody you might want to meet. Connect with them today.